Hello everyone, and welcome back to What's Been Playing, the show where we put a spotlight on selected video games and answer the lifelong question of, what is really worth playing? Well, it looks like we made it to the final stop of the marathon, and all within an expedient 4 months.
You're doing a great job! A great job!
I know it looks tacky, but I think I deserve this. Yeah, I know 4 months isn't an expedient time, but come on, give me a break. There are things that I need to do, games I need to play. More reasons to procrastinate. Come on, give me a break.
Hey, where you going?
I'm fucking done with this shit. How about you make a YouTube video?
Hey guys, David here, and welcome to...
Well, personal rant aside, looks like we're back looking at another one of Sonic's most beloved adventures. Though it definitely doesn't get as much attention as its predecessor does, Sonic 3 is still claimed by many to be the peak of 2D Sonic. Though I personally say that Sonic Mania is the peak of the 2D formula, it can't be denied how many things Sonic 3 did right. And I'll just say right out of the gate that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is definitely one of my favorite games of all time, so I still love this game to pieces. For this adventure, the developers wanted to go even bigger than last time, giving fans one of Sonic's most grand adventures yet. The question is, were they able to succeed with creating a Sonic game with bigger levels that didn't take away from the series' emphasis on speed like Sonic CD did? Well, of course it did. But as many people may know, we're not looking at just one game today. Today's episode is more of a double feature. A game so big, they had to split it into 2 games. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. More on that later. Obviously, I'll still be looking at the complete version of the game for this review, and I'll mention differences between the versions if necessary. But hey, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. Why don't we finish this marathon once and for all and take a look at Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. So remind me if this sounds a little familiar. Following the immense level of Sonic 2's success, Sonic Team, in an attempt to keep up their momentum, expressed interest in creating another sequel for the Blue Blur. If Sonic wasn't considered a big deal after his first outing, then Sonic 2 was what truly shot him into the spotlight. Sonic at this point was easily one of gaming's most iconic characters, starring in TV shows, tons of spin-off games, commercials. He even became the first video game mascot at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Just before 10:30, a first-time balloon, the 64-foot-tall Sonic the Hedgehog, was swept into a street lamp at 58th and Broadway and punctured. As the balloon began deflating, it pulled the lamp off the pole, dropping it to the ground where the falling metal injured a man and a little girl.
If that's not an omen for the Blue Blur's future, then I don't know what is. Once again, Sega's eyes are on the Sega Technical Institute, as well as Yuji Naka and designer Hirokazu Yasuhara to work on a Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Development for the game began as early as January of 1993, with the Sega Technical Institute actually being split into 2 groups at this point. One side, being comprised of Japanese developers, would go on to work on Sonic the Hedgehog 3, while the American branch went on to work on other games, in the oh-so-iconic Sonic Spinball. Aw yeah, that's the stuff! As previously mentioned, the team wanted to go even bigger for this game in terms of its story and gameplay. I'll say right now, Sonic 3 and Knuckles will take much longer to complete than the previous games, so they definitely completed what they set out to do. But like Sonic 2, there were some hurdles in its development. While the game was plagued with similar communication issues of that of Sonic 2, they were also under a strict deadline as well. But what would be the reason? What would warrant a game that was already looking to be much bigger than the previous 3 Sonic games to be put under a strict time limit? You really want to know? McDonald's. Yeah, I'm not joking, folks. Because of a McDonald's promotion slated to launch in early 1994, the team was yet again put under a strict deadline to get the game out to the masses. I assume not wanting to miss out on some more cash, Sega agreed to the promotion. Initially in the game's development, the team wanted to do something different for Sonic's next adventure and shake up the gameplay style a bit. The team originally developed Sonic 3 with Sega's virtual processor chip in mind. Think of it as the Genesis equivalent of the Super Nintendo's Super FX chip, allowing for the games to feature 3D graphics. The game would have taken on a more isometric approach, creating a pseudo-3D environment for the Blue Hedgehog to traverse. But after getting the news from Sega that the chip would not be ready by 1994, the team decided to stick to their guns and develop Sonic 3 with a similar gameplay style to the previous games. Even then, the only game to actually utilize the chip was Virtual Racing on the Sega Genesis, and while it does look great for the time, yeah, no. The team actually wanted this game to sell. As the team continued development on the game, however, they realized this game was getting a little too large to sell all in one cartridge. While it might have been possible to fit it all in one, time was limited because of the McDonald's promotion, so the decision was made to split the game into 2 halves, Sonic 3, which contained the first half of the game, and Sonic and Knuckles, which contained the second half. Also like Sonic 2, there's a good amount of playable betas which shine a spotlight a lot more on the game's development, featuring different music and gameplay mechanics. Finally, on February 2nd, 1994, the first half of this adventure, Sonic 3, finally released, with Europe getting it on the 24th of that month, and lastly with Japan getting it on May 27th. Sonic & Knuckles, the game's second half, released worldwide 8 months later, on October 18th, 1994. Like the previous Sonic games, Sonic 3 has its own set of introductions for the series. Along with a plethora of gameplay changes that I'll go into later, Sonic 3 marks the introduction of another mainstay in the Sonic franchise, Knuckles the Echidna. What the fuck is an Echidna? This thing, apparently. Cool. The Red Echidna acts as a protector of the Master Emerald, one of Angel Island's, which is the setting of the game by the way, sacred treasures. Knuckles is basically the brawn of the group, wielding superior strength as well as the ability to glide thanks to his dreadlocks, apparently. He appears throughout Sonic 3 to give you some trouble, acting as Sonic's rival in a sense, but once you're at the last level of Sonic 3, he's just kind of forgotten about after being thrown off of a miscellaneous pillar. Sonic 3 also has features that Sonic and Knuckles may not, and vice versa. Take the save feature. Sonic 3 has that, but Sonic & Knuckles doesn't. Sonic & Knuckles allows you to play as the Red Echidna, while Sonic 3 doesn't. There are obviously points between the two games that are just nonsensical when looking at them standalone. On a quick side note, just look at the ad for Sonic & Knuckles. Easily one of the Hedgehog's best promotional material and logos for any game in the series. Though both games are structurally sound, on their own, they just feel kind of incomplete. Obvious given the fact that they are two halves of the same whole, but this is a case where you need both games to get the full experience. Well, to give players that full experience, the team introduced the idea of lock-on technology. The cartridge for Sonic & Knuckles definitely looks a bit different from the others. If you look at the top, you'll see a mysterious flap that reveals a space that looks like it could fit a Genesis cartridge. Well, if you stack Sonic 3 onto the slot and insert the game into your Genesis, you'll finally be able to play Sonic 3 the way the team intended. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. This complete package features all the playable characters, every zone from both games, and other various music and gameplay tweaks. You can also stack Sonic 2 on top of Sonic & Knuckles, which allows you to play as Knuckles in Sonic 2, which is also super cool. But those were the only two games that really utilized the gimmick, aside from Sonic 1 technically, which basically just gives you millions of different versions of the game's special stages. Lock-on technology was more so just to give the team an excuse for splitting the game up. And yeah, even though Sonic 2 is still a bit more fondly remembered than Sonic 3 and Knuckles, that still didn't stop the game from being one of Sonic's most fondly remembered adventures. For Sonic's final 2D platformer on the system, what did Sonic 3 and Knuckles do to set itself apart from the others? Well, let's find out. So yeah, the team wanted to go big for this game, to soup things up to the next level. Bigger levels, bigger story, and a more thrilling adventure. Let's start with that plot, shall we? After Sonic's victory over Dr. Robotnik at Sonic 2, the Death Egg was sent falling out of the sky, crashing onto the lush, floating Angel Island. While on the island, the Doctor meets Knuckles, who is protecting the Master Emerald that keeps the island afloat. Because the Doctor is a fucking asshole, he tricks the Red Echidna and tells him to keep an eye out for Sonic, who is supposedly out to try and steal the Master Emerald for himself. After Tails picks up a strange reading coming from the island, Sonic and Tails set off to Angel Island to find where the energy source is coming from. And Sonic's wasting no fucking time here. I assume in an attempt to get this done quickly and upload his run to r/speedruns, Sonic straight up transforms into Super Sonic to hopefully scour the island quickly. His run is ended quickly, however, as he gets struck by Knuckles in a surprise attack, knocking the emeralds out of Super Sonic. After Knuckles steals the 7 emeralds, Sonic and Tails now make it their job to travel through the island to retrieve the Chaos Emeralds, and once again, stop the Doctor. Not much happens in between aside from a few battles against Robotnik and a few run-ins with Knuckles, but upon reaching Launch Base Zone, the Death Egg is nearly ready for launch, prompting the two to prevent it from taking off yet again. Upon reaching the end of the zone, the Death Egg is ready to take off, prompting Sonic and Tails to quickly hop onto the Death Egg and send it plummeting back toward the ground. After one more uneventful encounter with Knuckles, the two hop on and stop the Doctor in another one of his contraptions, sending the Death Egg back towards the island once again. Sonic, who sees the Death Egg crash back onto the island, however, knows that things are far from over. After making his way to Lava Reef Zone, where the Death Egg is currently resting, he finds out that he's too late, as the Death Egg is once again operational and ready to take off. Sonic manages to make his way to Hidden Palace Zone, where he encounters Knuckles, and after a quick battle, they find Robotnik grabbing the Master Emerald in an attempt to steal it. Despite their efforts, they're unable to stop Robotnik, and the Doctor is able to flee as the Death Egg successfully launches. After some assistance from Knuckles, he's transported to Sky Sanctuary Zone, where after a few kerscuffles with the new Mecha Sonic, he's able to hop onto the Death Egg that has launched itself into space. After a few more encounters with Robotnik on the Death Egg starts to crumble once again, with Sonic giving chase as the Doctor tries to escape with the Master Emerald still in his grasp. Taking the fight into space itself, Sonic transforms into Super Sonic, if you've collected all the Chaos Emeralds that is, and finally stops the Doctor once and for all, and successfully returns the Master Emerald and saving Angel Island. Well yeah, that's definitely a bigger story. While still basic, it still adds to the scope of the game and makes the adventure feel much larger. It's not much, but it helps to give some more character to our main characters, as well as Knuckles too. With the plot out of the way, let's get into the gameplay. Between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, not only did it change how Sonic controls, but what to expect in a Sonic game. But from Sonic 2 to Sonic 3, well, let's talk about it. Throughout Sonic's adventure through Angel Island, you'll be traveling through a plethora of unique locations, from lush forests, sandy deserts, a lively carnival, and many other locations. The variety of the levels you travel through really adds to the scope of this adventure, sending Sonic through all these unique, varied locations. As to why an island that from the outside looks like a lush tropical location has a fucking carnival on it? Fuck if I know, but hey, it's still pretty cool. And if you thought that the levels in Sonic 2 or CD were larger, damn, just you wait. The sheer size of these levels is huge. It's really uncommon for levels to be shorter than 3 minutes. Most levels will take you on average around 4 to 5 minutes, maybe even longer. Levels are packed with many more alternate paths to explore, secrets to find, and of course, opportunities to go fast, which like Sonic 2 are plentiful and just as thrilling as ever. Another plus is that characters like Tails and Knuckles get their own unique routes to reach the goal that utilize their own character abilities. While Tails' are simple alternate paths, Knuckles' alternate routes are a bit more substantial, which we'll get into later. I know that for some people, the larger levels may be a little bothersome. The pacing in which you visit the levels is definitely a tad slower than that of Sonic 2, which might lead to some preferring Sonic 2 over 3, which is perfectly valid. For me though, it doesn't bother me too much. Levels typically don't overstay their welcome in my eyes. What's super cool this time around is that levels now smoothly transition into one another. When you finish Act 1, you'll go straight into Act 2, and when you're transitioning zones, you get these awesome transitional cutscenes to show how you got to the next area. After finishing Angel Island Zone, the first level, Knuckles hits a button to drop you into the second level, Hydrocity Zone. Some may not make as much sense as others do, mostly because the zone order was switched around. For example, the second level you come across in Sonic & Knuckles' Flying Battery Zone was originally supposed to come after Carnival Night Zone, the fourth level, which would make sense compared to the stark night-to-day change between Carnival Night and Ice Cap Zone. Even then, these transitions are such a nice touch, and a big reason why I love this game. The developers definitely went out of their way to add set pieces to these levels too. While a lot of them are automated, you gotta admit, some of them are pretty awesome. You have iconic moments like Sonic snowboarding down the mountain in Ice Cap, avoiding the bomber in Angel Island Zone, the crushing wall in Hydrocity. It helps the zones stand out more. Though they sometimes do get lazy with a lot of the gimmicks, especially with surfaces that rise above you. It leaves you playing the waiting game like in Marble Garden, Flying Battery, and Sandopolis. As previously mentioned, this is an adventure that will significantly take longer than any of the previous games, so luckily, they implemented a save system. Whenever you enter a new zone, your progress will be saved, as well as any lives, continues, and any Chaos Emeralds you might collect along the way. It only saves from when you enter the zone, however, so if you're in the second act of a level and get a game over, it'll still send you back to the first act. Unlike Sonic 2, the first act doesn't just end by reaching the signpost though. Instead, the first act of each level has Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles taking on one of Robotnik's contraptions, with the second act being a face-off with the Doctor himself. Once again, the bosses are pretty top-notch, and keep you on your toes, aside from a few that overstay their welcome a bit. Shout out to the Sandopolis boss, where all you have to do is stand by the left edge of the level and wait for the boss to kill itself, or the Lava Reef boss, where I'm convinced that I can graduate college quicker than beating this thing. Sonic 3 and Knuckles features 3 different characters to play as, with each having their own unique gameplay style as well as rocking some new sprites like Sonic and Tails for example. Luckily, every character still features that satisfying momentum-based control that the classic Sonic games have been known for, with all the improvements to Sonic's control that were introduced in Sonic 2. The game still features knockback though, which... Aw, come the fuck on! Sonic, everyone's favorite blue blur, has some new tools at his moveset this time around. Along with the Spin Dash, which every character has access to, Sonic has a new move titled the Insta-Shield. Ironically though, this move acts less as a shield and more as an offensive technique. While it can act as a shield if you time the move just right, the move also increases your hitbox, allowing you to hit targets that you otherwise might not have been able to hit with a simple jump, which I love taking advantage of. Along with these tools, Sonic also has access to the powers that come with the new elemental shields. Alright, let's talk about these for a sec. So, along with the usual power-ups you would expect to find in a level, you may now come across boxes with a fire, water, or blood if you're playing as Knuckles due to how the color palette is utilized, or a lightning icon. While each shield will give you an extra hit like shields in the previous games, they also protect you from the elements that correspond with that shield. For example, if you have a bubble shield, you'll be protected from drowning. The lightning shield, for instance, protects you from any lightning attacks while also having the perk of drawing in rings. While every character can utilize these shields, Sonic gets unique moves that come with each shield. The fire shield, for example, can give Sonic a dash maneuver, the bubble shield allows him to bounce on the ground, and the lightning shield allows Sonic to double jump. I do love me some double jumps in a platformer. Compared to the abilities that Tails and Knuckles have, the powers that come with the elemental shields help Sonic feel unique and stand out from the others, because while the insta-shield is cool, it doesn't do much to set Sonic apart from the others. Tails is up next, and you can sort of think of him as an easy mode. Except for the Marble Garden Zone boss, why the fuck is it so much harder here? With a push of the jump button in the air, Tails is able to fly, or swim if you're underwater, for a good couple of seconds, allowing you to reach higher pathways or save yourself if need be. He also has a slightly higher jump, I believe. Of all the characters to play as, Tails is my least favorite. Not because he doesn't control well, not at all. He controls just as well as everyone else, his moveset just isn't that interesting to me. Finally, we have Knux. Knuckles is a bit of a unique case. Not only is he a unique character, but he also has a unique storyline too. His adventure basically takes place after Sonic returns the Master Emerald. Relaxing on the island, he's confronted by an egg robo who's up to no good, trying to capture the Master Emerald like his creator tried to beforehand. How does he plan to do it? The exact same strategy that Robotnik tried with Sonic. It's up to Knuckles this time around to catch up to the egg robo and stop it from stealing the Master Emerald, ending in a climactic fight against Mecha Sonic, a foe you originally fight in Sky Sanctuary's zone as Sonic or Tails, but if you may notice, he doesn't explode after being defeated. It's such a badass fight, even with its short length, the wobbling Angel Island in the background, the awesome Doomsday Zone theme, and watching as Mecha Sonic enters that super state using the power of the Master Emerald, it makes for an awesome final boss. Knuckles' specialty is the ability to glide through the air and climbing onto walls if he hits one while climbing. He puts a bit more of an emphasis on vertical movement, which shakes things up a bit. As a trade-off though, Knuckles has a shorter jump height, which makes him act as a sort of hard mode, but Knuckles is more than just a simple character swap. Going back to what I mentioned earlier, Knuckles has alternate routes that completely changed how a level is finished sometimes. Take this instance here in Angel Island Zone. We reach a point where there seems to be a path of some sort, covered by a huge wall of rocks that are impossible to get through with Sonic or Tails, but Knuckles is able to break through them using his strength to reveal a new pathway that will send him in a completely different direction for the end of Act 1, and through a good amount of Act 2 as well. It's such a great way to make Knuckles' adventure feel fresh and different, which is why he's my second favorite character. As an inhabitant of the island, it makes sense for his character that he would know how to access all these shortcuts and hidden paths as well. These approaches to level design for each of the three characters really feel like they make use of everyone's abilities and are able to stay thrilling, fast-paced, and most importantly, fun. It also helps that each level is marvelously brought to life by some of the best graphics of the 16-bit generation, featuring super lively backgrounds, detailed sprites, and a great color palette. Even to this day, I still think this game looks absolutely outstanding and is a great example of how well sprite-based games can hold up. But we can't talk about Sonic stages without talking about music, which... yeah, why don't we go into the music? As if Sonic wasn't trying to be the spitting image of 90s pop culture already, Sega contracted the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson, to work on the score. Yeah, no joke. Jackson was already a pretty big fan of the Blue Blur, as well as starring in his own game on the Genesis, so it's no surprise that Sega would approach him to help with the soundtrack. But if you know anything about important events involving Jackson in '93, yeah. The mystery of Stonehenge, how the pyramids were built, these mysteries are among our world's most mysterious ones, but all pale into comparison to Jackson's involvement in Sonic 3's composition. While some believe that Jackson genuinely wasn't happy with how these compositions sounded on the Genesis, I find it really hard to believe that it's not involving, well, you know. It raises the question as to if Jackson even made music for Sonic 3 to begin with, and I didn't even bring up the PC version of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which supposedly might have had Jackson's compositions after comparing them to the tracks from the beta builds of Sonic 3. It's a whole thing, and it raises a lot more questions than answers. Of course though, internal problems with the game's composers aside, the music for this game is still top-notch. As much as I would love to sample my favorites, this video would honestly double in size if I went into the favorites, because I have so many, and these reviews are already much longer than I would expect them to be to begin with. What's great about the soundtrack is that each level has their own theme this time too. The theme for the second act is like a remixed version of the theme from the first act, which is a super nice touch. Both acts of Hydrocity, the first act of Ice Cap, Sky Sanctuary, and... Flying Battery. Fucking Flying Battery. The best that classic Sonic has to offer, period. Something that does stink though is that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is missing some music tracks that were in Sonic 3 standalone, like Knuckles' kick-ass drum beat and the absolute jam of a mini-boss theme. The replacements are okay, but... Come on, why couldn't that stay? Like the games that came before, Sonic 3 and Knuckles delivers on the upbeat kind of music that should accompany a Sonic stage, and then some. While the music is some A+ stuff, the same thing can't be said for the sound design at some times. The ability to hear, I love it. It lets me listen to music, converse with people, but on the other hand, I also have to listen to that. Something that Sonic 3 likes to do a lot is really amp it up on the background noise. It can get really fucking loud. It just starts to get ear-grating after a bit. While each level still features a plethora of different branching pathways, each zone still keeps the tradition of having secrets and hidden paths that encourage exploration. You still also have the ring posts that act as checkpoints throughout the level. But this time, after passing them with a specific amount of rings and jumping into the ring of sparkles that'll appear, you'll be transported to one of the game's 3 bonus stages to rack up some extra lives or maybe get a shield to help you out. But if entering the sparks above a checkpoint takes you to the bonus stages, how do you access the special stages? While you may of course come across the goodies that I mentioned you'd find with these secret pathways, you might also come across giant rings, which act as a gateway to the game's special stages by jumping into them. Personally, I find this method of entering special stages so much easier and not to mention better than the previous games. Yeah, Sonic 2 made it so that you don't have to reach the end of a stage to have a chance at grabbing the Chaos Emeralds, but you still had to keep them until you could find a star post. This time around, all you have to do is simply find the giant ring and touch it to enter the special stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that these special stages here are also not complete garbage. This time around, you're tasked to run around a pseudo 3D sphere, finding and touching all the blue spheres scattered around the map in the process. But you have to act quickly because colliding with a red sphere will automatically end the stage without you getting the Chaos Emerald. Touching the blue spheres will turn them red afterward, so if you manage to turn all of the blue spheres red or make them disappear, then the Chaos Emerald is yours. I like these special stages a whole lot. They don't feel super awkward to control like the ones in Sonic 1, and don't heavily rely on trial and error like in Sonic 2. Like Sonic CD, these are special stages I can consider as pretty enjoyable. But that doesn't mean it's free of challenge. The longer you stay in the special stages, the quicker the stage will go, which is undoubtedly pretty stressful, and one wrong move with a bumper sphere or one wrong turn can immediately end the stage, so not fucking up is still pretty important here. As a reward for collecting all the Chaos Emeralds, you'll once again be rewarded with Super Sonic as well as the hidden ending, Doomsday Zone. Super Sonic is still just as fun as he was in Sonic 2, featuring all the fun upgrades that were in that game. While it is still great, I really wish that the original release of Sonic 3 and Knuckles had a separate button to transform instead of pressing the jump button while in the air. As cool as Super Sonic is, sometimes I might just want to play the stage normally, while also making use of the Elemental Shield's properties. Even if Super Sonic paired with the Lightning Shield is a pretty unstoppable combination. But I can't do that if I have over 50 rings, as I'll just immediately transform. Also, transforming requires you to have to listen to the same fucking 4-second loop of the Sonic and Knuckles theme over and over again until either you die, finish the stage, or run out of rings, and that's super annoying. There are plenty of fan revisions of the game, however, that give you a separate button, and this feature was also seen in Sonic Mania, but it's just annoying that it's not here. But this time around, the Chaos Emeralds aren't the only shiny MacGuffins you can collect. Making their only introduction in this game are the Super Emeralds. Chaos Emeralds, but larger and more super, I guess. If you collect all the Chaos Emeralds before the end of Launch Base Zone, you'll eventually find these rainbow-colored rings in the stages that follow. Touching them will send you to the mysterious Hidden Palace Zone, where you'll find the giant emeralds sitting upon their pedestals. The Super Emeralds mostly just act as an incentive to encourage exploration in the second half of the game. With these emeralds come 7 new Blue Sphere stages that you must complete in order to obtain them as well. Collecting all the Super Emeralds, though, gives Sonic access to Hyper Sonic, an even stronger Super Sonic with 100% more Yeah, wow, that's pretty distracting. Sonic now has a bright, seizure-inducing aura around him, and it's super obnoxious to look at. The shit hurts my eyes. While it isn't enough to make me feel nauseous, it's certainly a tad annoying at times. Hypersonic also comes with a Super Dash / Screen Nuke attack that flashes the entire screen white. Come on, really? It's a super broken move though, and I have to admit, using Hypersonic can be pretty fun at times. But Sonic isn't the only one that's able to transform this time. While Knuckles does get a super form after collecting all the Chaos Emeralds, featuring all the perks that Super Sonic has, it's also possible to unlock Hyper Knuckles, giving Knuckles a Screen Nuke as well that shakes the entire screen as he clings to a wall. He can also climb walls faster as well. At first glance, it may look like Tails has a bit of a bum deal. Tails doesn't get to transform after collecting all the Chaos Emeralds. Rather, he's given a super form after collecting all the Super Emeralds. But once you unlock Super Tails, I think it's pretty obvious why. Super Tails is easily the best transformation in the entire game. While you have all the buffs of a super character as well as Tails' flight, You also are given an invincible army of flickies by your side, which can fuck shit up. Bosses will be torn to shreds by these birds. Literally nothing stands a chance. But as I mentioned though, as great as these forms are, I'm totally cool with playing the game without them, as it makes the adventure more fun that way. As an adventure comes to a close, Tails catches Sonic after he managed to take the Master Emerald back from Robotnik, and safely return it to Knuckles, who gratefully watches the two as they fly off into the distance. But we're not entirely done yet. Like Sonic 2, Sonic 3 also has a competition mode where friends can duke it out. But compared to Sonic 2, it's really not all that special here. I don't plan to spend much time on these, but yeah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles has a competition mode where it's once again a race to finish, but this time, all the stages are unique and not to mention shorter than Sonic 2's competition stages. If you were feeling a little antisocial like I was, you can even play them by yourself. While it's cool that these levels are all unique, they really don't have the level of pizzazz that the levels from Sonic 2 have, so there isn't really much reason to play them. But it's still cool that each level is at least completely unique and has its own theme. It's a small distraction, but not much more. And that concludes Sonic 3 and Knuckles. If you couldn't tell, I love this game. I really do. Every time I go back to it, I see myself 100% completing it just because of how well designed it is. The levels, the control, the music, the sound design, the aesthetics. It all comes together marvelously to create not only one of Sonic's best titles on the Genesis, but one of Sonic's greatest adventures, period. Though it may feature some uneventful level mechanics and pacing that's slower than Sonic 2, as well as some shoddy sound design at times, it's not enough for me to ruin the experience. Though Sonic 3 and Knuckles is a great title on the Genesis, I would absolutely recommend trying Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited on the PC, a fan recreation of the game featuring widescreen, smoother animations, and a plethora of different customization options to create the definitive Sonic 3 experience. The game just nails what it means to be a platformer, creating not only an exciting and memorable journey, but most importantly, a fun one. Though, like I said earlier, it is a bit longer than Sonic 2, so if I'm in the mood to finish something that takes quicker to beat, I'll probably be going to Sonic 2 more often than Sonic 3. No matter how many times I go back to this game, however, I never see myself getting tired of it, and had absolutely no problem playing the game 3 times to get the footage I needed. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is not only a landmark title in Sonic's history, but a landmark title for platformers in general. A truly unforgettable experience. And well, here we are. It may have taken an eternity, but I finally did it. I finally finished this mini-marathon. Though some of the games were a bit more mediocre compared to the others, it was a complete blast getting to revisit these games that were a huge factor as to why I enjoy video games the way I do. I want to give a genuine thank you to you guys. You guys are a huge factor as to why I want to create these videos. Not only do I want to share my work, but I love to see the audience reactions and, criticism as to what I can do better. So I really appreciate you guys. Looking forward to the next episode and the feedback that's being given on the videos. It means a lot, thank you. And I can assure you, even though this mini-marathon is over, what's been playing definitely won't be going anywhere. It's here to stay. But now that we finished the classic Sonic games, what are we gonna look at next? Why don't we look at something different? I'm definitely a bit burnt out of Sonic. Like I said in my channel update video, there are a lot of games that are coming out. So next time, why don't we take a look at... Jesus, what was that? Oh shit, wait! Well hey, look at that. Well, would you look at that? It's the month of spooks and scares. As much as I'd love to look at something new, we gotta celebrate Halloween. But what kind of game would we look at?